Hello, my name is Mark Howard. I'd like to do a presentation on the Mapoon Church in Far North, Queensland. It's a very interesting church, which I've come to know about. The location of this church, as you can see on the map, is in the Cape York Peninsula on the east coast in the Gulf of Carpentaria. And it's not easily accessible during the wet season. So now my interest in this is because I have started a Christian school in a place called Napranum. In this school there are children there that come to the school from those communities. So it was important for me to understand the history and the narrative that came out of that place, so that I could better serve that community. Now, I took a journey, and this is one of the bridges that we had to cross, and there's two of them. And on this journey, I reflected on the times when the people would travel back in those days. And here I arrived, I'm at this location, and as you can see, it's just a memorial now. There's no school, and and that's where the location of the church was. The history of this, the church began in 1891 by two Moravian ministers, and they set up a church, a school, a dormitory in this location, which was quite, in one sense, quite successful. However, as time went on, a couple of issues arose which the people would talk about, but it looks to me as though that this place was had a lot of government interest, and the Presbyterian Church and the government then decided to actually remove all the people of Mapoon to supposedly better locations, to places called New Mapoon, which is near the tip of the Gulf of Cape York Peninsula. Some went and some stayed behind. The ones that stayed behind refused to go, and as a result, the government then sent an order in to forcibly remove these people, and to burn down the buildings that were there, and to dismantle them, some of them, to discourage people from coming back to this location. That was quite traumatic, because there were many children from many parts of Australia that were there, and the government took a heavy hand on this order, as you can see in this slide. And that was carried out, that was enacted, and the people were all relocated. This pole that I've seen on the site is quite an anomaly. I'm not sure why this pole was there, but asking a few questions around, they said they put that up there to remind the people and the historians and the people that some of the atrocities that happened in that place, and so I couldn't find any evidence of that in the history documents. Hay and Ward were the two Moravian missionaries that were there, and this was their gravesite. That stick in the ground has a writing on it which says old school and church, and that's about all that is left at that location. As we can see, it's now become a memorial. When you visit the site, there's no church, there's no school, there's no dormitory. However, the people seem to have honored Hay and Ward for their work that they did there by the burial ground that's located there. This is the old church that was destroyed, and looking at the number of people that attended it, and they came from all parts of the Gulf of Carpentaria. And I suppose it did have an impact, whether negative or positive. On a good note, recently the community received a new church. this is the new church, was opened, and with great joy and happiness that the people that, in particular, that didn't have their church were now having their church back. And with that, we praise God for that. Amen.